Welcome back to Docs Off Topic. So today we're going to continue with the dividing head, and the next part is the worm carrier. Now I've marked off where I need to trim the sprue, so we want to keep about 1.5 inches or 40 millimeters or so. And then we've got to face off this surface to be flat, so that we can then do the rest of the machining jobs to get this ready to accept a bearing in this section, and here just to carry the axis for the worm. So the first job, cut through here, and then we'll set it up in the mill and machine the surface. This is one of those setups where, because it's a casting, we really are just keen on getting things close, and then once we've got a reference surface, so i.e. this one, then we can start worrying about getting some things better. And right now I'm looking at keeping the sprue as square to the body as I can, so I'm looking at this measurement here. So alright, so that is perpendicular to this, the axis of this, in this plane. It won't be in this plane because I know this is a little bit off. So now the question is this in the axis of the table? And I'm just going to basically ballpark it. I'm going to use this casting because I know I know that the vise is pretty square. 169 millimeters. Well, what do you know? We are actually within 0.5 millimeter. Now the only thing that I don't like about this cutter is it requires the machine to run in reverse, which for conventional milling means that because I'm standing here I get covered in chips. Not too bad. I'm just going to adjust this gib a little bit because it's a bit tight. Alright. I got it most of the way. Alright, so that's the whole face done. I don't know if you got all of that. I know you got the first pass at least. Annoyingly, the camera cut out. Alright, so how do we want to do this? Alright, so that's the mounting face. If we were to mount it onto an angle plate, to turn this and bore it out. Alright, so I've set up to face off this side. Once I've got that side faced off, I'll face off the underside, so that I've got a couple of reference surfaces. May also just give this one a light lick. Essentially this is just to skim it. so we've taken our first pass. It is markedly off centre. We're going to end up well below the desired size. But I think we can adapt the parts to fit around that. Now I do know what happened. What happened is basically the sprue ended up slightly canted, which means that for all intents and purposes it's now quite badly off centre. So we are pretty much contiguous. Alright, that surface finish is actually pretty good. Quite happy with that. As you can see, quite a bit of offset from the actual centre. That's because the sprue displaced during ramming up. I think I knocked it. That's the drawback to using that method of setting up a temporary part. I won't bore it out because I've got to decide on the bearings yet. I can go down to 8mm ball by 12mm wall outside diameter, which will give me plenty of meat to support it in the journal. It's just whether I can adapt the other parts to suit this diameter or whether I need to recast this part. we'll see how we go. Okay, so seeing as we're waiting on a bushing for the worm carrier, I figure we might as well get some of the other castings machined down. So this is the tailstock body for the dividing head. So we're going to very lightly just face off this side, then we're going to clamp it using that as the reference to face off the underside of this part. Excellent, I've got the whole surface. Oops. What we're really concerned with is that this be perpendicular to the underside of this. If it's not parallel to this, we can face this side off later. And in fact what we might do is once we've got this side done, we've got two references, then we'll do these sides and the back just to make sure everything's nice and square. Quite enough. Excellent. Alright, let's see about doing this side so it's perpendicular to this corner. Alright, let's do these two ends. Very poorly supported, but not a critical surface. I'm going to try and mill these two faces as well. Pity I don't have a radius cutter yet, because then I could leave a nice radius in there, but what I might do is just leave this area here untouched, so I've got something to play with a bit later. I do have a shell mill or a face mill with 6mm radius that's coming. But big. That might be about as close as we can get. Alright, we didn't quite get that. So I'll leave that face for when I've got the appropriate cutter for it, so I can get that radius happening as well. Well, as we wait for parts and tooling to arrive, we've got the inserts, but the end mill they go on is apparently still in transit. So that's more or less where I'm up to. Waiting for bushings to arrive and waiting for a milling cutter to arrive so I can finish off this casting. And it looks like I might have to recast the piece that goes with this to form the rest of the tailstock assembly. The sprue that forms, much like for that one, for the worm carrier, the bearing journal for the tailstock centre is quite skew-if. So I'm going to have a look at my sprues and possibly machine the ends square. Seeing as obviously my hand sawing is a little bit skew-if apparently. So that one will need recasting. I'm toying with recasting the worm carrier simply because I ended up machining quite a lot off from the journal, and I'm having to recalculate a lot of parts that flow on from that, which is proving quite convoluted, and I'd rather not do that. It's making it a little more complicated than I would like it. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave off. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to share on social media, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. When you do, don't forget, ring the notification bell. So get out to your shop, have some fun, but do stay safe, and I'll catch you for the next one.